In the dim halls of Ashwood Penitentiary, Oliver Hayes felt the weight of his wrongful conviction heavy upon him, a suffocating embrace that seeped into his very bones. As he stepped through the iron gates, memories of warmth and sunlight faded, replaced by a relentless despair that wrapped around him like a shroud. Each day bled into the next, marked only by the grim routine of meals, roll calls, and the fleeting moments of yard time, where the raw reality of survival flickered just out of reach. It was in these moments he met the other inmates, their faces etched with the scars of a shared existence, forming tentative bonds amidst the bleakness. Yet, the true battle lay within him, where anger and sorrow churned, tethering him to a past laced with loved ones and haunting regrets, propelling him forward into a world where hope flickered like a dying flame. As the days merged into an indistinguishable blur, Oliver's reality became a series of monotonous routines that governed life in Ashwood. Each meal was a reminder of unfulfilled desires, while roll calls echoed through the stark halls, instilling a heavy, almost suffocating silence. The momentary relief of yard time brought an illusion of freedom, yet it quickly dissipated. It was here that Oliver first encountered his fellow inmates, men molded by the same cruel system that had forced them into this unforgiving place. Beneath the tough exteriors, Oliver began to see glimmers of their individual stories, each one a testament to resilience. Together, in the midst of despair, they found camaraderie that breathed a flicker of life into their weary hearts. The tight bond they forged amidst the grimness became essential to Oliver's survival, igniting a sense of belonging within the cold confines of his new reality. As friendships took root, Oliver found himself wrestling with a tumultuous sea of emotions. The weight of anger and despair suffocated his spirit, prompting haunting reflections on a life once filled with laughter and love. He drifted into memories of warm family gatherings, the warmth of his mother's embrace, and the carefree days spent with his brother. Each recollection underscored the painful contrast to his current existence, intensifying his sense of loss. Oliver's heart ached for the connection he now longed for, yet felt increasingly distant. The walls of Ashwood seemed to close in tighter, echoing his feelings of isolation. In this turmoil, he yearned for solace and understanding, especially from his estranged brother, as he faced the painful reality of his circumstances. Engulfed by regret, Oliver vowed to confront his inner demons and uncover a path to healing within the confines of his prison. Within the suffocating walls of Ashwood Penitentiary, Oliver's keen awareness of the prison's hierarchy became increasingly evident. He observed the guards, wielding their power with a blend of arrogance and indifference, while inmates struggled for respect and recognition. Oliver witnessed a familiar dynamic, where the vulnerable often fell prey to manipulation and cruelty. Anecdotes recounted among inmates illustrated systemic injustices, revealing a world governed by fear and survival. It was a harsh reality that played out daily, as alliances formed and broke against the backdrop of a class struggle that mirrored society outside. Yet within this oppressive environment, Oliver began to develop a deeper understanding of human nature, grappling with the complexities of morality that transcended the prison walls. The unfolding narratives ignited a flicker of awareness in him, compelling him to reflect on his own choices in a fight against the darkness around him. As the walls of Ashwood Penitentiary closed in on Oliver, he became acutely aware of the profound isolation that plagued him. The absence of connection intensified his longing for understanding, particularly from the brother whose absence weighed heavily on his heart. Each day felt like an eternity, where even the briefest conversations seemed to drift away, leaving him grappling with the silence that echoed within. Oliver's mind raced with scenarios of reconciliation, yet self-doubt gnawed at him, fueling his fears of rejection. He wrestled with his yearning for companionship, torn between vulnerability and the hard lessons taught by the unforgiving prison environment. This internal conflict left him questioning how to navigate his desire for closeness in a place designed to break spirits. The immense void fed his resolve, igniting a flicker of hope that perhaps understanding and connection were still within reach, ready to be grasped. Just as Oliver grappled with the relentless ache of isolation, a figure emerged from the depths of the penitentiary. a seasoned inmate named Marcus. With a demeanor that hinted at wisdom forged through hardship, Marcus approached Oliver, his presence both comforting and challenging. He recognized Oliver's turmoil, and rather than offering empty platitudes, posed questions that prompted deeper reflection. "What does survival truly mean to you?" he asked, igniting a spark within Oliver's weary spirit. As days turned into conversations, Marcus began to peel back the layers of Oliver's despair, urging him to seek personal growth amidst the stark realities of their environment. In this unlikely mentorship, Oliver found more than just guidance. He discovered a chance to redefine his understanding of strength and resilience. As their bond deepened, Oliver felt the first stirrings of hope for a journey toward transformation. In the wake of his burgeoning bond with Marcus, Oliver's introspection turned toward the more uncomfortable facets of his past. Memories flooded his mind, reminding him of a critical moment, the fateful decision that had unraveled his life, leading to the injustice of his conviction. Regret washed over him like a relentless tide, pulling him into a tumultuous sea of guilt and shame. He replayed that day, the choices he made, and the crossroads he faced, each thought tinged with the flashes of lost opportunities that haunted him relentlessly. As he sat in solitude, grappling with these emotions, Oliver felt an undeniable urge to confront the implications of his actions, the weight they carried, and the lives they impacted. This reckoning set him on a path of learning, an essential step in his journey toward understanding redemption and the true nature of his existence. As tensions simmered during yard time, an unexpected incident erupted into chaos, disrupting the fragile equilibrium Oliver had begun to navigate. Voices rose, fists flew, and in the blink of an eye, the space transformed into a battleground, each confrontation a desperate assertion of power amidst the struggle for survival. The scene unfolded before him in a visceral display, forcing Oliver to confront the constant threat woven into the fabric of prison life. He felt the tight grip of fear encircle him, reminding him that danger lurked not only from the outside, but within the very walls he called home. This experience ignited a critical shift in his understanding of mortality and vulnerability, pushing him to confront the depths of his own fears. In this harrowing moment, Oliver realized that the darkness surrounding him was not an end, but a catalyst for his awakening to a deeper sense of self. In the emotional aftermath of the yard incident, Oliver found himself in deep conversation with Marcus, whose presence now felt like an anchor amidst the swirling chaos. They delved into concepts of morality, justice, and the nature of redemption, ideas that were both daunting and invigorating for Oliver. With each question Marcus posed, Oliver's mind sparked with uncertainty and hope as he began to consider not just survival, but a meaningful existence within these walls. They debated the essence of what it means to be just in a world rife with inequity, igniting a fierce internal dialogue within Oliver. As the discussion unfolded, he started to envision a life beyond mere endurance, planting the seeds of change in his heart. Fueled by this newfound perspective, Oliver felt a shift, a glimpse of a future where light could pierce through even the most oppressive darkness. Chapter 1: Introduction to Oliver Hayes, his wrongful conviction, and the harsh realities of life in Ashwood Penitentiary. He reflects on his initial arrival and sense of despair. Chapter 2: Description of daily routines, meals, roll calls, and yard time. Oliver's first encounters with fellow inmates established tentative camaraderie. Chapter 3: Oliver grapples with anger and despair, reflecting on his lost past and loved ones, revealing poignant family memories. Chapter 4: Observations of prison hierarchy. Guards' abuse of power and inmates' struggles for respect highlight systemic issues. Isolation sets in as Oliver confronts loneliness, yearning for connection, especially from his estranged brother. Chapter 6: Introduction of Marcus, an older inmate whose mentorship challenges Oliver's worldview, prompting personal growth. Chapter 7: Emotional reflections on guilt, and a pivotal moment leading to his wrongful conviction intertwine regret with lost opportunities. Chapter 8: A yard incident escalates into violence, highlighting the fragility of life and Oliver's survival instincts. Chapter 9: A reflective debate with Marcus on morality ignites new musings about hope and redemption in Oliver. Chapter 10. Oliver's brother's letter reignites hope for reconciliation, prompting reflections on their past and its significance for the future. As Oliver navigated the complexities of life within Ashwood, he began to experience the transformative power of connection. In a group therapy session, he found himself surrounded by fellow inmates, each revealing their vulnerabilities as they shared painful stories. The room, stark and unwelcoming, became a sanctuary where tears were shed and laughter sparked, erasing the coldness that permeated the prison walls. Oliver listened intently as others expressed their fears and regrets, a mirror reflecting his own inner struggles. For the first time, he felt the weight of his solitude lift, replaced by a deep sense of empathy. This moment forged a vital bond among the group, culminating in an understanding that fostered hope and healing. As Oliver drew strength from these newfound friendships, he began to see the potential for redemption, igniting a flicker of light in the darkness. With the bond of friendship beginning to transform Oliver's experience, he was now at a crossroads. A decision loomed that would test his integrity. The whisper of opportunity echoed through the day room, a risky hustle that promised not only favor from the higher-ups, but also the chance to gain respect and power within the prison's rigid hierarchy. As Oliver considered this dangerous path, a tumult of conflicting emotions surged within him. The need for survival clashed with the moral principles he was beginning to embrace. This choice represented more than just a fleeting chance at acceptance. It symbolized the struggle of his very soul. Would he yield to the temptations of corruption, or could he resist and remain true to the man he aspired to be? In this moment, Oliver understood that the decision he made could define not just his present, but dictate the course of his future. As Oliver grappled with the consequences of his decision, a harsh spectacle unfolded before him. An inmate's breakdown echoed throughout the common area, a raw display of vulnerability that resonated deeply, shaking Oliver to his core. The emotional toll of incarceration flooded over him, forcing him to confront the mental strains endured by those around him. He realized that behind every hardened exterior lay a tumult of unexpressed despair and fear. This tragic moment became a catalyst for Oliver's introspection, highlighting the fragility of mental health in such a dehumanizing environment. He pondered the weight of silence that often surrounded these issues, and in witnessing the breakdown, he felt an urgent responsibility to acknowledge his own struggles. In this vulnerable space, Oliver recognized the profound importance of connection and compassion amidst the desolation, igniting a newfound resolve to navigate his own demons. As Oliver steeled himself against the tumult of despair, he found himself ensnared between a choice of survival and the path of integrity. The temptation to engage in the corruption around him gnawed at his conscience. Yet a newfound clarity emerged from within, urging him to consider what it truly meant to stand for justice and truth. Each hour weighed heavily on him as he deliberated his next steps, knowing the repercussions would ripple far beyond the prison's walls. He felt the looming question of his identity pressing in. Who was he becoming in this vast sea of darkness? Ultimately, Oliver knew that his decision was not merely a reflection of the here and now, but a defining moment that could either entrench him deeper into the cycle of betrayal or initiate a breakthrough toward reclaiming his essence. With resolve, he vowed to choose the path that would illuminate his true self. As Oliver contemplated the meaning of his journey, a sense of clarity began to seep into his thoughts, reshaping his view of the world around him. The pain of his past and the injustices he had suffered no longer felt like a chain binding him, but rather a catalyst for growth. With the friendships he had forged and the wisdom imparted by Marcus, Oliver recognized the power of hope, a fierce, unwavering light that pierced through the opaque haze of his environment. Each lesson learned bolstered his resilience, igniting a desire for not only personal redemption, but also reconciliation with his estranged family. The longing for connection turned into a guiding force, pushing him toward the belief that a future filled with possibility might still await him. With renewed conviction, Oliver embraced the uncertainty ahead, ready to transform not only his own life, but to inspire change within the walls that had confined him for so long.